Welcome back to my KEEPUP channel. George Galloway claims Britain will be at war within 6 months of a Keir Starmer election win as he warns of Armageddon triggered by the West at launch of Workers' Party manifesto that vows to abandon Ukraine and NATO. Britain will be at war within 6 months of a Labour election win, George Galloway claimed today as he launched his far-left party's beautiful election manifesto. The Workers' Party leader, a former Russia Today presenter, lashed out at Labour as he launched the 34-page document that promised to end UK military support for Ukraine and hold a referendum on NATO membership. It includes chapters on redistribution, democratic reform and Palestine, and referenced K-pop and creeping borough fascism, and pledges to reduce the mandatory retirement age to 60. The veteran politician spoke at the launch event at a hotel in Manchester, just a few miles south from Rochdale, where he became the town's MP in February, following a by-election triggered by the death of Labour incumbent Tony Lloyd. Accompanied by his fourth wife, Putri Gayatri Purtawi, the father of 6 adopted Tory language when he urged voters not to hand Labour, his former party, a supermajority on July 4. "We are potentially headed to Armageddon, and if we don't get out of this death spiral, then none of this will have been worth arguing over at all," he said. If Keir Starmer becomes the Prime Minister, within 6 months, Britain will be at war. I mean an actual war with British troops deployed. He promised a staggering breakthrough at the general election for his party, which he described as the antidote to both Labour, who he said they seek to replace, and Nigel Farage's Reform Party. "We are the spirit of Labour past, or what it was supposed to be. Labour, long ago, lost its way, lost its purpose," he said. Mr. Galloway described both Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and Labour leader Mr. Starmer as subprime performers with vacuous programmes, but said that Mr. Farage, his former EU referendum colleague, at least has something to say even if he is wrong. His 10-point party programme begins with a pledge to end imperialist wars and NATO withdrawal, a subject he returned to. Mr. Galloway claimed the BBC has been working for Keir Starmer and Labour had been made safe for the establishment and the deep state. He added, "The fact that Starmer is going to take us to disaster, potentially existential disaster, is a national emergency." Mr. Galloway said Britain had suffered decades of subservience to the EU and the US, making it a vassal of Washington and a country, he said, being led by a senile dementia patient. He claimed Royal Navy warships were in the Black Sea, the Red Sea, and the South China Sea, threatening others rather than protecting their own coast. And he described NATO as a war machine with the West led by leaders who want conflict while edging closer to a game of nuclear bluff with Russia, China, and North Korea, and only the woke armies of the West to defend itself. Party pledges on cheap housing, free childcare, free adult education, and public laundries would be paid for by scrapping UK's nuclear weapons, which Mr. Galloway said cost the country £12,000 every minute. Polls suggest Mr. Galloway will lose his own seat at the election. He clinched a stunning victory in the Rochdale by-election in February after one of the most divisive and chaotic contests in recent history. Local voters chose the firebrand politician as their new MP to replace Sir Tony Lloyd, following the death of the veteran Labour politician in January. Mr. Galloway, who put a hardline pro-Palestinian stance at the heart of his campaign in a seat with a large Muslim population, ended his 9-year absence from the House of Commons. Keir Starmer, "This is for Gaza," the 69-year-old declared, as soon as he was announced as the winning candidate in Rochdale just before 3 a.m. The stunning victory came after Labour was forced to disown its candidate Azza Ali over remarks condemned as anti-Semitic. The party has chosen Paul Waugh, a journalist, to fight the seat this time around. Mr. Galloway sent an immediate warning to Labour that he would use his new platform in Parliament to berate Sir Keir Starmer over his position on the Middle East crisis. The Maverick returned to Westminster as a representative of a third different political party, the Workers' Party of Britain, having previously been both a Labour and Respect MP. Source: dailymail.co.uk. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.